Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of your hosts at DayOneFM broadcast, Alex Marciniak, with my other host.
I'm Robbie Finizio here at Day One, our first episode. I'm really excited to get into it, Alex.
I'm very excited. We're going to be talking a little bit about the NCAA's Wrestling Championship that happened a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, almost a month now.
Yep, out in St. Louis. Basically, we're going to kind of give you guys a little rundown here of what happened, who the big competitors were, a little bit of the rivalries, and let's get straight into it.
Yeah, dude, it was exciting. Last year we didn't really have it. We were kind of robbed of it. So this year everyone was kind of really anticipating exciting matches and a lot of big upsets coming in at it. And I'll just throw out an interesting stat for you. The number one seeds this year went 3-4 in the finals. So It was not really the year of the one seeds. Iowa, we know, wins it. But Penn State, 4 champions, 4 different weight classes. A lot of good stories.
Yeah, I think the first seed made it to the finals the first, 4 matches.
Yeah.
And they lost, I think, every single match.
Exactly.
33, 41, 49, and 57 to even make it to the finals.
Exactly.
So,
I don't think it was until... Yeah. Was RBY one?
No, it was up until... he wasn't even first seed. He was second seed. But up until heavyweight.
Right.
Stevenson
You're right.
won, and he was the first seed. That was the first seed that won. Yeah. So, but we'll start at 125. Spencer Lee.
Yeah, but
now, to everybody out there that doesn't understand, doesn't know the college wrestling scene, Spencer Lee is one of the best, arguably, pound for pound, the best wrestler in the NCAA. He won this year's NCAA, no ACLs.
Yeah, that was the thing that was a big surprise, was that we knew he had, I don't know if it was his left or right originally that was an issue, it was torn. So we knew he was already battling something, and I think he had alluded to it, that he was, he's battling something. He didn't want to say what it was. He wins, and in his post-game conference, he says, I was battling a lot of things. He said, whatever, man. F excuses. That's literally what he said. He had 2 ACLs torn, yet he's still pretty, I would arguably say, dominantly won this match. Really, really not much of a sweat for him off his back.
It wasn't. There in the finals, there was not a lot of times where you could have doubted him. That Arizona guy, and again, I say Arizona guy because he's irrelevant in my opinion. He really did not show that much of a fight. It was a decision. For everyone out there that doesn't know, decision is within 7 points. So fairly close of a match, but I mean, you're wrestling a Spencer Lee without 2 ACLs.
Yeah.
So
Courtney, I'm looking at the bracket right now, and he kind of had
Courtney.
Courtney is Brandon Courtney from Arizona State University. He had a bit of a cakewalk, to be honest, through the tournament.
He got the 7th seed in the semis.
Yeah, so he'd faced no one technically that was a lower seed than him.
Yeah.
He comes into the final against Lee, and we know what happens. And then another thing to add is that obviously those who watch college football know what the Heisman is, but in wrestling there's the Dan Hodge Award, which is essentially the Heisman, the best wrestlers. And this year I believe it was two champions. Shared it with Gable Stevenson from Minnesota.
Heavyweight,
285.
And it's funny, 125 lightest weight. Heavyweight.
Exactly, the lightest and the heaviest one this year, which I mean. Pretty no argument in that, really. It was pretty much almost feels like unanimous that he was going to get the Dan Hodge this year.
Now we'll switch it up to 133. This was 125 had the best pound for pound wrestler. 133 arguably is the most competitive pound for pound with the amount of skilled wrestlers that are in that weight class. You have the 2 guys that made it to the finals, Dayton Fix and RBY.
Yep.
And then you have underneath them Austin DeSanto. Let's pull up some of the other guys because I know that field is actually insane.
Yeah, absolutely. And then RBY decision over Myers from Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
3 seed.
Oh, well, I guess this year it might have... No, Michael McGee. Yeah, he's really good from ASU.
McGee, where is he? Did he get knocked out early?
I think he took a medical forfeit.
Okay.
Slide
Oh,
down
look
to,
at that.
to the 6th, right?
McGee, Cannon beat him. He pinned him from Northwestern, and then Fix pinned him. No, he got pinned.
He went all the way down.
McGee got pinned.
Oh, he got tech balled, though, by DeSanto in the Conti
Oh,
semis.
okay, yeah.
But, like I was saying before, though, Austin DeSanto took 3rd in this weight class.
Yeah.
Arguably, I think he was very close to winning a NCAA title. If he got close to, I guess, if he had beaten Dayton Fix, I think our champ would have been a lot different than RBY.
Yeah, I think so too. And going on to Dayton Fix, second time losing in the finals. 2019, I lost to Nick Siriano, sudden victory. He comes back and then he loses again in sudden victory, right?
It was the second sudden victory they lost in the NCAA finals.
Second time he lost, and so the sudden victory, how that works in wrestling, right? They have 3 regular periods. If it's tied up, they go into a final round where 1 minute. Whoever gets the first points wins. And they start in neutral, right? They always start in neutral.
Start in neutral, and you're right about the first point. Everyone thinks it's first takedowns, first points. So
first points, right?
If you get a stall call on the other guy and he gets 1 point, that's it.
Right, that's
you could win off a stall.
1 point, that's all you need.
And we actually saw that at the EIWA Championship, 174. I believe the Drexel guy lost in overtime in the championships of his conference because of a stall call.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah. So.
And watching that match, Fix, I think, was trying to go for RBY's leg. He kind of got caught off guard, and he kind of he rear-ended him and basically grabbed his legs. Easy take. It's just that quick. It happens like that, literally like that.
Yeah, RBY is pretty slick. So as soon as I saw that he had gotten that angle behind Dayton Fix,
that's it.
Dayton Fix isn't much of a scrambler. At least, obviously, with medium range guys, sure, yeah. But with guys of his caliber, no, he can't scramble with RBY.
And he folded right into it.
Yeah.
And another thing, the one other storyline from this was Dayton Fix that he was caught doping.
Yeah.
Some substance issues. And I looked into that. Apparently his rebuttal to that is that he thought it was his dad's. It was a water bottle, and he said that he went to go drink it. He didn't realize that there was I don't even remember what it was called, some kind of substance that is not legal in NCAA play, which forfeited him for a year. Forfeited him a year, but in reality, he really didn't lose much. I mean, he still competed, and he got to compete at trials.
Because he didn't compete in a season that didn't have...
Exactly. He got the same...
the same thing that everybody else did.
Right, exactly. The Houston Astros. They got, for all the cheating, they're supposed to get suspended, but there was no season, so they never got any rebuttal for that. So Fix kind of got out of it pretty clean. But, I mean, what do you think about that? Just in terms of his character and the kind of wrestler he is.
I think that he comes from an outstanding program where head coach John Smith does an outstanding job at creating that program. Well, he was given a really good program, and he made it even better. And now Dayton Fix, I don't think helped, I guess, make the image of the Cowboys.
It hurts, yeah.
It hurt their image because, no one likes to see that. And I'm pretty sure he got caught doing it overseas, actually. It was an overseas tournament, freestyle tournament, and they made them test for it. I think that he was caught off guard.
Yeah. And he tried to
I don't buy the story about the dad and
he said
blah, blah, blah,
it's
blah.
a water bottle. What?
I know. It's BS.
And we'll get into this later maybe, but, Oklahoma State, they have a lot of good guys, and, you think about, Penn State, who's dominated wrestling for the past essentially 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
They've won 8 out of the last 10. Now, Iowa takes one, but Oklahoma State just as much can become that dynasty again.
Yeah.
With a lot of good guys.
They do have a lot of good guys. They have, they have Dayton Fix. They have Boo Llewellyn, who I'm not a fan of, but he is pretty decent. And at, I believe, 149, he took 4th.
Okay.
He's all right. I'm not a big fan of him.
Yeah.
But other than him, they have a pretty strong lineup. They have an all right lineup. So
Yeah.
they used to have a really good heavyweight. But they did have a champ though. Obviously,
AJ.
197 AJ Ferrari.
197. Freshman.
Yeah, I totally forgot. I totally forgot about
True
that.
freshman.
True freshman, and he can be potentially the next or the first 5-time NCAA champion.
Because he was a true freshman.
Well,
who was the last to do that?
No one.
No one's a true freshman.
No one's done 5 times because of COVID. COVID gives
that screwed a lot of guys.
Well, COVID gives this season didn't count towards eligibility.
Right.
So AJ Ferrari has 4 more years now to compete. No one's had a chance to do that before. Everyone has had 4 years to compete.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That's it.
I see what you're saying now.
He gets 5.
He could absolutely do that.
He could potentially be the first and only 5-time champion because I don't think that this opportunity will ever arise again. Everyone after this will still get 4 chances. And that's it.
Exactly.
So
we'll talk more about him for sure at the 197.
Yeah.
And going on to 141 now. We got Nick Lee.
Yeah.
From Penn State.
Impressive performance.
Like we were just saying, a lot of controversy in this weight, just very competitive. A lot of good guys. But this is also Yanni's weight class.
Now, we talk about that, and I was said earlier, like, oh, no chance Yanni doesn't beat Nick Lee.
Right.
However, World Team Trials just happened last weekend.
Yeah.
And he lost something like 12-6 to Nick Lee.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know what to make of it now.
Who beat Nick Lee? Who took down Nick Lee?
Joey McKenna, I believe. McKenna might have. Or, yeah, I think it was McKenna.
And then Oliver beat McKenna.
Yeah. No, it was the 3rd seed, which was Jordan Oliver, who won the whole thing.
Who ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah, it was Jordan Oliver, who ended up, he beat Nick Lee in the quarters, beat Yanni in the semis, and then beat Joey McKenna in the finals. And, I'm not going to lie, Yanni Diakomahalis is better at freestyle than he is folk style. And
really?
100%.
Considering what just happened, you still think he's better at freestyle?
He's better at freestyle for sure. He beat, when he was 19 years old, he beat, I believe, the silver medalist at the Olympics. He beat that guy. That guy was like 26 in his prime from India.
And he was 19.
He was 19, beat him. Beat him in freestyle. He is, they call him the Greek Freak. That is his nickname. The Greek Freak.
Yep.
He is absolutely insane at freestyle. In my opinion, I don't think they won because the Ivies are out right now. They're not allowed to practice in their own room.
Right.
In my opinion, that's kind of why.
Disadvantage, probably.
It's a very big disadvantage.
That's a really good point you make.
He has to train at the nearby RTC Spartan Combat.
Pain in the ass. It's not easy.
I've had to do that before.
Yeah.
And you have to drive like a half an hour out to go to some club to wrestle some people that you don't even know.
And obviously, like, you can't, like, you're not gonna make like excuses, but that does not help. It definitely doesn't help.
Doesn't help.
You want your own facilities. You want your own facilities. You want your coaches, right? I'm sure you can't even be with these coaches.
They have an Olympic-styled wrestling room at Cornell, and they can't use it.
They can't use it. Why? Why? I don't understand.
Because of COVID.
It's just one dude. I don't know.
That's how it is, I guess.
And we can go on to Nick Lee, the champion, who beats number 1 seed from Iowa Airman.
Yeah.
Another 1 seed goes down.
Ironman is very, very good. He, 2 years ago, pinned Yanni Diakomahalis in a duel.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
But then he lost to him later in the season at the NCAAs. But, very competitive.
And this was close. This is another one that wins the Sun victory.
Yeah.
Another one.
I'm not going to lie, though. I saw Nick Lee taking it by, like, I had put my money on Nick Lee beforehand, but towards the end of the match, you knew that he was going to win because Ironman, you could tell he was folding.
Yeah.
He was gassing.
Right. Yeah. He was tired.
He wanted to take time because he was like, I'm done.
Right, you know what I mean? Yeah.
He was like, injury time.
Right. Blood time, all that stuff. Like, that takes...
Like, nothing was wrong.
No, exactly. Like, just milking it. And obviously...
And that's taking nothing away from him. Ironman's an awesome wrestler.
Yeah.
but Nick Lee's a very good wrestler too. However, this was a rematch of the Big Ten finals.
Yes, that's true.
And Ironman beat Nick Lee
Yeah.
in the Big Ten finals. Hit some ridiculous moves.
Yeah.
Absolutely filthy moves. But, Nick Lee got the best of him this time. So.
I think that's why a conference championship is great. And what you do in the regular season is definitely, has importance, especially to your seeding. But I mean, when you go down to St. Louis, like, it's just a different animal.
Yeah.
It's anybody's match, I feel like. A lot of these weight classes are anybody's match. Except for a couple, obvious undisputeds. There were a lot of weight classes this year that I feel like a lot of guys could have grabbed that title.
You're completely right about that. Now, to 149, this is a weight class that, I'm not going to lie, it is so funny who came in first. Austin O'Connor, I did not think was going to win at all.
To be honest, I never heard of him until he won. I really didn't hear much of him. I know he did win the ACC.
Barely.
Right.
Barely. He barely beat a guy from... Wow, I was looking on that. So a guy that didn't even All-American. So I'm pretty sure, guy made it to blood rounds. He's from Virginia Tech. He was beating Austin O'Connor like in the ACC championships. He had a really, really close match. I'm trying to find him here. There he is. Andonian faced O'Connor in the finals of the ACC.
ACCs,
Almost beat him. So close to beating him.
Yeah,
and after that, I was like, there is no way Austin O'Connor beats Sammy Sasso in the finals.
Been pretty, I would say, favorited. I think they had him locked. They had him locked. O'Connor had another cakewalk. 15 seed, 7 seed.
Oh, he
faced he faced Mahler from Missouri. Was he any good?
Mahler's pretty good, yeah. Yeah, Mahler.
All right, so that's a
good victory, yeah. However, if you take a look at how everything placed up, Mahler took 5th. Took 5th.
He did. 5th place.
And Yaya Thomas, who Sammy Sasso had to beat, took 3rd. So
yes, he did.
It's a shame that Sammy Sasso didn't win, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Sammy Sasso deserved it, but it is what I don't have much to say about this weight class because that was literally it. So.
Yeah, I mean, when I watched it again, there was they had a coach's challenge at the end of that match. I think it was
it was for the takedown.
Right, it was for the takedown. I think to
for
tie
Sammy
it up,
Sasso.
They wanted to get it into overtime.
It wouldn't.
Oh, it would have won it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember.
He would have won it. I'm taking a look at the score. If he got that takedown, he would have won it because the ending score was 3-2. Sammy Sasso was going for that last takedown. He would have gotten it.
Right, exactly. They were freaking out about it, but in the
end,
I
think they did get it. I was watching. I was like, "That's 2." He
had the control of the legs, both legs.
It was very iffy. He got the one ankle, and he went for the other ankle. And when you have both of the ankles, it should be 2.
Right.
But
exactly. Yep.
It is what it is.
On to 157 now.
Yeah.
Jesse Del Vecchio from Ryder makes it to the final. David Carr, Iowa State, gets the win.
Yeah, it was 2 upsets in the semis, resulting in the 3 seed and the 4 seed to face each other. Yeah. And I think the biggest... I wasn't too surprised about the David Carr versus Hayden Hidlay.
Right. But
it was 2 versus 3.
But Del Vecchio, Deacon. That's
Deacon was almost a lock on winning this entire tournament.
Right. Exactly. Just as much as Sasso, I think.
Yeah. Deacon beat world team member James Green like a year ago or something like that. Insane. He beat him. I remember. I was like, James Green took 3rd at the World Championships the year before. So I was like, Ryan Deacon's legit,
Yeah.
And he loses to Jesse. He gets pinned by Jesse Del Vecchio. Guy I've never even heard of.
Rider University, first ever to go to a finals for the program.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
He said in one of his pregame interviews, he was like, nobody took a chance on me. I was about to give up wrestling. I was like, screw it, I'll go to Rider and see what happens. And he literally makes it to the finals, defeats the number 1 seed, and put up a fight. But Carr ultimately gets the win. I know we talked about this before, but what do you think about Carr Like genuinely, like going into the future, like do you think he's a guy that's gonna be able to defend his title, or is it just gonna be a shaky ride for him?
I think that not a lot of people are going to be able to compete with him. If Ryan Deacon comes back, I think Deacon's going to win. But other than that, Jesse Delvecchia didn't put up a good show. I wish Jesse Delvecchia won.
Yeah,
but
that would
he
be
didn't
sick.
put up a good fight.
Yeah.
He wasn't good on bottom. So, and it's hard against a guy like Carr who's got those big legs that
Yeah,
can
like
just
it was
put him in.
the third period. He essentially just wrote him out. Had like literally
Yeah,
like
it was
3
probably
minutes
the
riding
most
time, like-
boring
Yeah,
match.
it was just a strategic match. Carr knew he could just ride. He's not gonna get at the escape even. He literally
Yeah.
is gonna just hold him in a crouch.
Yep.
But yeah. Then on to probably the most fun to watch, and a lot of the most stories come out of 165. Shane Griffith,
Yep.
Jake Wenzel from Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Griffith from Stanford with all that went on with the program, and the fact that they're cutting it is just unbelievable. He's a champion, and he had entered the transfer portal as the program is going to be cut after this year.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I had called Shane Griffith winning this entire bracket. I tell my friends, I go, watch Shane Griffith, 8th seed, by the way.
Why was he the 8th seed? He was a Dan Hodge finalist last year. Why was he an 8th?
So because he hadn't wrestled almost all year, right? If you don't have matches, you're not going to get a good seed. And because of that, his name wasn't as well known.
Right.
So I was like, what is going on?
Right.
Why is he 8th seed? And how the brackets worked out, he was going to face the 1st seed, Alex Marinelli, in the quarters. And I go, if he beats Alex Marinelli, which I think he will win the entire thing.
And absolutely.
And he did. Because after that, he had Zach Hartman from Bucknell, who could not compete with him. I knew that.
Got him by 7.
And then he had Jake Wenzel.
What do you think of Wenzel? Wenzel,
tough guy.
Yeah.
I knew he wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I think it's ridiculous that Stanford is cutting their program. They had 2 All-Americans, one of which was a NCAA champion.
Correct.
And then they had, I'm trying to remember this correctly, but they had 3 guys make it to blood rounds.
Yes, exactly.
That could have one more match, they would have been All-Americans. And they cut the program.
And they're cutting the program. And what's funny is that the Stanford's women's team just won the national championship, the basketball championship.
Basketball?
Yeah. Parade, everything.
Wow.
I mean, you would think that Shane Griffith would get the same celebration, but no, they're going to cut the program. I don't understand
ridiculous.
What and
it's not about money.
Not COVID. It can't be money. They offered a lot of money to.
They rose $10 million. Do you know how much it costs to keep the program alive per year?
How much?
$125,000.
Yeah, and they're giving them like a couple million. 10
well,
million.
Think about it. So basically, $1 million would keep that program alive for like 8 years.
Exactly.
They got $10 million.
I don't understand. Like,
it's insane.
And it's unbelievable. Like, I feel like Stanford is almost it's a renowned school. You would want to be represented in the wrestling community. I don't understand it, but it's gonna be very interesting to see where Shane Griffith ends up. That's what I'm interested to see.
He might be done. I think so.
He's got another year or 2 years.
I think he has another 2 years, maybe even 3.
Okay.
The way that things got shake down, but I think that you might just see him stay at Stanford because he's at Stanford right now.
Well, he entered the transfer
It almost
portal,
doesn't get better than that for like getting a degree.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was him, you're an NCAA champ. You don't have to prove much else.
Yeah.
Get your degree. I feel bad about the program, but
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But he did enter the transfer portal, but that doesn't mean he's going to transfer. That just means he's looking.
Yeah.
He's looking.
Yeah, he's looking. I don't know if he's going to.
You don't think if Penn State says, "Hey,
he's like one year away from graduating from Stanford."
Yeah. No, I get
what
I'm
saying.
No, I get what you
mean.
mean.
Undergrad. So
it's a tough situation for him.
You might see him after he graduates, but might be a
take a
completely
year
different
off,
wrestler.
go to like trials or something like that, you think he would venture out there,
To where?
like Olympic trials, try to be, try to
Of
represent.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So I mean,
But
he's been a champion. I don't
he
think
didn't he decided not to compete at the World Team Trials this year.
Yeah.
When you're an NCAA champion, you get an automatic bid to the World Team Trials.
Yeah.
And he just decided not to go. So
Interesting.
now 74.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's interesting, but it's boring.
Carter Starochi
and Kermer
from Iowa.
I guess the leading story with that is the veteran and the newcomer.
Yeah.
Kermer, what's he, like 23 now? Something like that?
That's pretty old.
Yeah, and then you got Starochi, who's a freshman,
just
19.
Came in, yeah.
Starochi wins. So that's mostly the story. I don't have much to talk about.
Sudden victory. Another sudden victory win.
It was a sudden victory.
That was exciting.
It was. It was a little bit exciting, but I don't know why.
It was a pretty small match.
The lighter matches, the lighter weight matches were a little bit more fun to watch.
They tend to be.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. But yeah, Starochi, Penn State, one of the 4 champions for Penn State. They finished 2nd overall for team.
Now, fun fact, the 6th seed, Demetrius Romero, he wrestled my team captain last year here at Sacred Heart University. Wrestled my team captain. My team captain lost because of riding time, which is 1 point.
1 point.
My team captain took him down 3 or 4 times. He had.
It was a high-scoring game. High-scoring match.
It was like 12-11.
12-11 he lost.
Like, it was they were taking each other back and forth.
Right.
And
you fought with them.
And this guy was seeded 2nd at the NCAA tournament. So just fun fact, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Where is he from, Romero? What school is that?
Romero is from Utah Valley.
Utah Valley. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
They had 2 semifinalists. They had Demetrius Romero at 174.
Yeah.
And then they had at 125 the 7th seed who beat Latona. I'm trying to remember what his name is. Trevor Lamont, I believe.
Trevor Lamont. Is Utah Valley, is that EIWA?
My bad. Taylor Lamont.
Is that EIWA? Utah Valley?
No. They are in the Big 12.
Big 12.
Yeah.
But I know you, like, Sacred Heart duels them.
We had.
You have.
We had at the Journeyman Duels.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, it could have, played out any which way. We kind of got lumped with them and Long Island University.
Right.
And I think the group above us was NC State and Virginia.
Okay.
So, if we were, I guess, a better team, then we would have gotten grouped with them.
Yeah.
But, we're middle tier, D1. Those guys were
mid
tier,
major. Right, exactly. Yep. And then for those who don't know, Alex is a wrestler here. I don't wrestle, but he's a wrestler on our D1 team.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's fun talking about these guys.
Different perspective than I probably get, just because you've done it and you kind of can feel what these guys are going through and what they're thinking to some extent.
How good these guys are.
Right, you appreciate it probably a lot more than any spectator can.
Even the 33rd seed at this tournament is very good.
Right, exactly. Who we had from Sacred Heart, 2 representatives this year.
2 reps.
Very excited.
At 174 and at 157.
Well, Joe was 184, right?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, 184.
Yeah, he was 184.
He wrestled 174
He used to be,
year,
but Kusti was the 33rd seed at 184, and Palumbo was the
24.
24. Yep. Right.
So at 184, we have
Aaron
Brooks, who won against Trent Headley. I thought Trent Headley was going to win.
Yeah, it would have been 2 NC guys for champions.
Yeah, it was a little bit sad they didn't win. I like Aaron Brooks, though. I think the biggest shock to me was Lou Dupre and Hunter Boland wrestling for 7th place.
Oh, yes.
Hunter Boland used to be the number 1 ranked wrestler at 184 for the entire season.
This past season, right?
Yeah. No, this season,
not like last year,
2021. He was number 1 the entire year. He lost to Trent Headley. He got bumped down to 5th seed, and then Lou Dupre was 3rd seed. He should have made it to the semis. I thought that he was going to beat Trent Headley.
Dupre lost to Boland and finished 8th.
That was the Rutgers kid, what's his name?
Poznanski.
Yeah, I can't even.
Poznansky.
I should be able to pronounce that. I'm Polish, but
Poznansky.
Yeah, Poznansky.
Right.
He beat Lou Dupré in a very controversial match in the quarters, but
Yeah.
it was super controversial. But
Yeah, Brooks is a beast though. He looked good. It was a close match.
it was a close
very
match.
close match.
Yeah, it was 3-2, but he came out in the end. And Trent Headley is a very, very good competitor, so can't say much about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
197.
197. Our guy
AJ
Ferrari,
probably the biggest personality, I would say.
Yeah,
one of the biggest personalities of wrestling at the moment.
He has a big personality.
He's
a big guy.
He's a very confident guy. He likes to elaborate, that he lifts a lot of weights. 665 deadlift is what he said.
Yeah, that was
but
funny.
He definitely backs it up. He's a good wrestler. What do you think?
I had actually also, hard to believe, the two people I called winning were Shane Griffith and AJ Ferrari.
Yeah.
And AJ Ferrari was the 4th seed. And
Tatanamine in the semis from Michigan.
Yeah, that was his biggest win.
Yeah.
I knew that he was going to
win. That's a convincing win.
Yeah.
That's a pretty convincing win.
I knew he was going to win in the finals, but in the semis, it was maybe because Miles Amin is a very good competitor. So, can't take anything away from Amin. He took 3rd. And Warner, who also, I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to lie, AJ Ferrari had the toughest path because he had to beat Warner,
and then
who took 4th. Then he had to beat Amin, who took 3rd.
And then he goes up against Brennan Corsi from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we were saying before that he could be the first 5-time champion because of that 5th year. We'll see. Now, what do you think? He wins as a true freshman, but there's gonna be a lot of competition.
He needs to stay at 197. He cannot
I don't think
bump up.
He had a little scuffle with Gable where he's like, he should not go to heavyweight, right? That is a terrible idea.
He would get smoked.
It's a completely. That's like another one. Almost 100 pounds he's got to put on himself, and then try and compete.
Gable's about 100 pounds more than him.
And it's like, and I feel like he's the kind of guy that wants to one up himself essentially, and he's not going to be settled at 197, where he's not going to want to sit there, which is the problem.
You might see him bump up once Gable's gone.
Yeah.
Once Gable's gone, which Gable probably will be around for
he's got
maybe 2 years.
He's got 2 more years of collegiate?
Yeah.
Really? So, I think, next year I think he'll say 197. I don't think he'll go yet. But like you said, maybe once Gable's gone, give it 2 years, and then he goes up. But do you think if he stayed at 197 for 5 years, he could be a 5-time champion?
Maybe. It's very, very... It depends. I would have to watch him at the beginning of each season, and I knew that he was going to be NCAA champ this year because of the way I watched him wrestle in the beginning. No other 197-pounder moves the way that he moves. He moves fast. Like he's a 57-pounder.
He's very fast.
Very fast. So, very athletic guy. He went to your high school, right?
He was he was down in Texas for high school, Allen, Texas. Came up to Blair Academy, which is in New Jersey, I believe, as well. I think Blair Academy is another good high school wrestling school.
New Jersey.
It's in Jersey.
Different division though, because they're prep.
Right. Yeah. So he transferred to my high school. I went to Bergen Catholic, another private school, pretty well renowned high school. Like Nick Suriano, Shane Griffith went to Bergen Catholic as well. He only wrestled though a regular season. He was not eligible to wrestle at individual championships just because he was a transfer.
Yeah.
And then after I think he was a junior, he came back down to Texas as a senior, finished out there. So he moved around a little bit, but at one point he was number 1 pound for pound in New Jersey when he was at my high school. So he was dominant. He was dominant in high school. They knew he was going to be good coming in, and clearly he proved it. He wins Pac-12 or Big 12, Big 12 or Pac-12, Big 12. And then he comes out and he pulls off a couple of big upsets and he wins. So listen, if he wants to stay at 197, he should. And I'm very curious to see what he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, I think that he potentially could be the first and only 5-time champion.
Yeah, I know there's a handful of 4-timers. Kyle Dake.
Kyle Dake won
at four different
weights.
Right.
Yeah, which is the most impressive. Never been done before.
Just unbelievable.
Yep. Now,
heavyweight
285. Gable Stevenson. Not much to talk about. There was no competition for him.
Rematch of the Big Ten finals.
Rematch where he beat Mason Paris 8-4, which is probably the closest match that they had.
I actually looked at his regular season. I think the closest match he had was like a decision, like 8-5 or something like that. Like he either teched or pinned or a major decision to every guy he faced.
Wow.
Going into this, essentially. He was untouched.
Yeah.
And now he's going to represent
at
the Olympics.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he won World Team Trials.
Yep.
He tacked the first match against Gwiz, who, if people don't know, Gwiz is the returning World Team member, 3-time NCAA champion. Like, insane.
Unbelievable.
And Gable Stevenson tosses him around like a JV wrestler. So, Gable Stevenson is only 20 years old, by the way. 20.
Yep.
So it's...
I was surprised by that.
It's insane.
I really thought he was like a 22, 23. Like, he was like... I thought this was like his last year where, like...
No.
He's done. Like, the fact that he's got 2 more years is just... That's disgusting.
I think he does. Yeah, because
that's
he competed 2019. Didn't win.
This is his first championship, right?
Yeah.
This is his first, which, again...
I think he lost an eligibility year because of 2020.
Okay.
And then 2021, he wrestled, but it didn't count towards his eligibility. So he has 2 more years of eligibility.
So he's got 2 more years.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So everyone else, like Tony Cassiope, very good wrestler from Iowa, cannot compete. Mason Paris, awesome wrestler, World Team member when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Cannot compete. Trent Hilliger from Wisconsin, very big personality, used to be able to compete with Gable, never beat him, but had very close matches.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Gable Stevenson, something has changed. I don't know what.
Yeah, Hilliger fell out pretty not that far.
He's also a Hodge Trophy.
Yes, Gable's with Spencer Lee.
Yeah.
Pretty feels
first
like
time that it's been like shared. I'm pretty sure or something. Like
what was the reasoning for that? Why did they share?
I can't tell you.
That's interesting. Like
I mean, you have 2 wrestlers like that, like Spencer Lee and Gable Stevenson.
It's hard not to give one or the other. I guess.
It's kind of hard.
I get it.
Yeah, there was no one else that like RBY. Like, yeah, he's good, but he lost at some point, so it needs to be an undefeated wrestler. And
yeah, exactly.
You know, and
he's got to be
untouched. Yeah,
he's got to be untouched.
So, yeah, I think we covered.
I think we
everything.
definitely covered a lot. Definitely a lot. And I know, like, for someone who may not, like, for listeners who like may not follow wrestling that much or just getting into it, it's definitely it's a lot to take in for sure. But at the end of the day, it is it can be simplified to 2 guys on a mat getting some points. Whoever gets the most points wins. Really, at the end of the day, it is as simple as that. But there's a lot to it.
Yeah, and I think that this past NCAA's kind of showed who the top dogs were. So.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was really exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure coming on, Alex. I think this was really well. It went really well.
This has been DayOneFM signing out.